Welcome to the podcast, Sebastian. It is so great to have you on here, joining us to discuss your newest series, Supacell. And I hope you guys have been watching, checking it out, because it's been absolutely phenomenal, really amazing show. So I would recommend it. But Sebastian, I want to ask you, how has it been since the show has come out with all the supporters, all the fans? Talk us through that whole process.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I think it's been amazing. Like the reception's been amazing. I think whenever you're doing a production, you never know how it's going to be received, and I feel we had an idea of what we wanted it to do, but we didn't. I don't think I saw it being this big
Right.
that quickly. Yeah. But it's been good. It's been nice.
Okay.
Like, and it's well. Like, Rapman's worked really hard on the project, and a
Mhm.
lot of us, a lot of the people that are involved in the project have been grinding for a long time. So it's nice. It's nice.
Right. I could really feel that sense of like hard work and so much what you put in to the series. Like you guys, it was phenomenal when it came out, beautifully directed, like the cinematic experience watching the series. It was truly amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
hmm So what has that journey been like to become this accomplished director, to have the series, finished, completed? What has that journey been like for you?
In my journey in general, or the journey for Supercell?
For your overall directing journey?
Oh, overall, uh, oh man. So I started directing when I was maybe about 18,
Mhm.
um, and I'm 33 now. And it was initially a way of me I was just exploring really. I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point because I used to play basketball heavily, and then I just started going, okay, look, like where else can I put my energy? And I was a graphic designer at the time. And then I started making T-shirts, and then I wanted to promote the T-shirts, so I started getting more. And that led me on a journey where I created Upshot Entertainment, Upshot TV online. We've done loads of comedy sketches, and then one of the web series that I made got the attention of BBC, and that's how I got my in. So that was in 2014, around then.
Mhm.
Uh, and then I got my in, made a show for BBC, and then it kind of spiraled from that. And I done Dreamy Whilst Black,
Mhm.
then Rick, then Supercell. But
Right.
it really does sound like an easy, quick. It was long,
It was
seriously.
long.
It felt long, but I'm actually happy that the journey's been like
Mhm.
this, because even though I felt ready at the time, I think the fact that I've had more experience before I done a show like Supercell, it
Right.
has been really good, because it meant that I went into it knowing how TV works.
Exactly. That's completely understandable. Like you have this journey that you've gone through and you've gotten to this stage where you have this really successful series, Supercell. It was number one in the UK, number two over here in the US, and that's truly amazing. So again, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, and it went global number
It
one,
did.
which was dope as well. Like, it's crazy.
It's
It's crazy.
crazy.
It's really good.
And
Really.
do you expect that as Supercell to like become like this global sensation? Like when people started watching it, did you think it'll get to that point?
Um. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we had a feeling, but
Right.
as I said, you just never know these type of things. To be
Mhm.
honest.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for talking about that journey and your experience. Like with Riches, I've personally watched that show. Absolutely loved it. I can't wait to see if there's going to be another season. Is there anything you could share?
Oh, there's no other season for it. It got cancelled.
There's really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Nah,
Wow.
it happens. It's
Mhm.
TV. It's in the industry, and yeah, and there's so many layers to why things get cancelled and
Right.
why that
Mhm.
happens. So it happens. You gotta keep it moving.
Gotta
For
keep it
me,
moving.
also for the creator, that I'm like, man, it's such a shame. She had so many ideas and wanted to do
Right.
things with it, and the actors were amazing. So yeah, but I'm sure like everyone will be all right. They'll find their way, and
I
there'll
hope
be
so.
something else created. Yeah,
I hope all the best to them and for the creator as well. Because again, really well made show. I was hoping so much for that, but with Supercell, hopefully we can get season 2 and 3. Netflix, if you're watching, we want that renewal to happen with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I know you're talking about, your own directing journey. So what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone that also wants to be a director and really get into the industry?
I think one. Oh, there's so many
You
pieces
can
of
give multiple pieces of advice,
so
not just
many,
one.
but I think like some of it is all down to like find ways to just. I think I learned a lot from making short films and just getting out on the field and trying to make stuff, and I learned a lot through the process of editing and making things physically, and I think um, a lot of people just need to go out and try to make things, like regardless
Right.
of like, have like all the kit or anything like that. And I think because I think there's a lot of experience that you get from that. So being on YouTube was like my film school. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the big. And then also in terms of industry, I think there's a lot of. My intentions weren't to get into the industry. My intentions were just to create what I loved and what I felt was missing.
Right.
And then I had my break into the industry. And I feel like there's a lot of people that I meet that are really fixated on like I'm not being like with like seen in this particular way, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that can just get in the way of your creative process and also just your
Mm-hmm.
well-being. So I think just focusing on making dope shit, like, and eventually, I think that it will, it will pay off. And then there's loads of other things, man. There's just like focus on your well-being, your like
Right.
understand set works,
Mm-hmm.
um, set. So if you want to shadow people just to have insight on how the mechanics work. I
Mm-hmm.
think a tribe around other directors and being able to speak to them and ask for advice whilst you're on a production is really useful because
Mm-hmm.
there's been moments or things where you get contracts and you're like, is this how much I should be getting or is this how it should be running? And it's
Exactly.
have a bit of a tribe. But there's tons, man, and I think another thing I would say is like
Mm-hmm.
do some sort of acting course, like whether even if it's
Oh.
like yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
done that just to get in just so I can feel what actors feel. Like I'm not trying to be an actor. I just thought I wouldn't I
Yeah,
wouldn't ever want to. But
I get that. Yeah.
I have like insight.
Mm-hmm.
It it just allows you to know how vulnerable they are and what
Mm-hmm.
space they work from. And I think implementing
Yeah.
that into like the sensitivity of how you direct becomes really useful.
Yeah.
So that as well as all the technical stuff, you know.
That
Um,
is some great
like,
advice.
I've got a post actually that I just posted.
Ooh, what does this say?
It's like no, there's it's a picture of me when I was in like 2009 when
Mm-hmm.
I was filming. But but on the slide it's got like I think 12 tips for aspiring directors. So I think
Wow.
that um
Yeah, that's definitely whoever's
help.
watching,
So I said
go check
yeah.
out that post. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for sharing that. Some
No,
really great advice on really focusing in, shadowing, taking those acting courses, whether it's improv or just any that your local community offers. So thank you so much for that. Well, switching over gears a little bit from directing to more of your most recent series, Supercell. How would you describe it in 3 words to anyone that has not watched it, interested in watching it? If you can describe that, just 3 words.
say I would say authentic,
Ooh,
surreal, and then fun. Those are those
wow,
3 words. Yeah.
I love
That's
that. It's
what I
got
would
me
say.
excited.
Surreal, authentic, and fun. I think it's
Okay.
got like the superhero element, and then but it's grounded, and then there's a lot of like fun moments and comedy and levity to
Mhm.
it. I think
Yeah,
those are my 3 words.
nice. So I know you're mentioning how there's like authenticity with it. So how
Yeah.
does it showcase like the series, the authentic Black London experience of someone from like, South London can also experience this? I mean, like, and see themselves in the show. How would you see that authenticity come to place within the series?
Yeah, I think you know what the
Mhm.
authenticity comes from, like the creator,
Mhm.
essentially, like
Okay.
Ratman, and his vision for the show and how he writes and who he is comes through the page.
Mhm.
So I think like that is like a big part of why the show is authentic.
Okay.
And then, and then it trickles down to who he hired or who he got involved, such as myself, the
Right.
actors, uh, the and each, all the different departments, like they
Mhm.
all kind of reflect the culture. And I think that, yeah, like those decisions mean
Mhm.
that it comes out a particular way. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I'm not from South. I'm from Northwest. But
Oh, okay.
I've got family in South London, and
Mhm.
I've went to South London a lot.
Mhm.
There is a difference, like in terms of
Mhm.
energy over there. But I think, yeah, just casting the right people, having the right, and having like a creator like Ratman involved, makes it
Right.
what it is. Yeah.
Well said. Wait, what are those differences between like where you grew up, Northwest London, and then South London, where the show takes place?
Uh, well, I think where okay, for one, there's a lot more a lot more black people in South London. In the South London that
Mhm.
where he's kind of basing it around, which is
Mhm.
like that and things like
Mhm.
that. There's and the energy is it's just different. It's I
Oh,
can't like,
okay.
it's hard for me to explain it. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
trying to well, I can't put my finger on it. It's just
No
how
worries.
yeah, I can't really.
There's just more black people. Like, it's fine to say that. Like, yeah.
There's an energy to it that's slightly different. I think all parts of London are it's subtle, but if you're from
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
like north is slightly different, west is very different,
Mhm.
east, but south is very dominant. It's like, for example, if you go to any club, like one example is like if you go to any club in any
Mhm.
part of London, as soon as if they say South London in the house, it's always the loudest.
Okay.
Like is
Because we're there.
always in the
We're
house,
there.
no matter what part of London you are from.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think yeah,
Alright.
yeah, but it's hard for me to say. The energy is just different.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I completely understand. Like here in America, we have different parts, northeast, west, like the different vibes, different energies. So
Yeah.
I really resonate with that. So speaking on more of the fun moments on being on set, what are some that you can talk about, that experience working with the cast, the actors, if you want to dive more into that?
Oh yeah. The dope thing about it is that I just got to work with so many of my friends, man. Like I literally got like some people that I've grown up making short films with were on this show,
Wow.
which was like a really great experience. And so we had a lot of fun on set. I think some of the key highlight moments for me is learning about stunts and wire work and
Mhm.
guns and all of that, and how to use that within the scenes, how to break up scenes for that. And then also just learning how to implement all of that. And it's like it becomes a really different type of filmmaking, because even though you've got a vision of how you want things shot
Right.
and what shots you need and all of this, you've got a time frame. And when you've got stunts and wire work in the way,
Hmm.
how you know how the wires are rigged takes time.
Hmm.
So it might mean that you might not be able to get a particular shot because of
Hmm.
that. There's just loads of mechanics that you have to work out, which was um, it was challenging and interesting at the same time. Fun.
Okay. So how
Yeah.
do you break up those scenes? Like, I know you're mentioning that. Like, what is that process of knowing how long to shoot for, and then to cut it at a point, and then to resume shooting from that exact same point?
Oh, okay. So when you break down the scene, I
Mhm.
think so. The first step would be like I've got the script, and then I'll just probably just break down like some ideas of how I want it shot, what location I want for it, and say it's, and then I'll break down some ideas for it. And at first, I'll do that by writing, and then after that, I would get into, maybe depending on how technical it is, we might have a storyboard. So I'll work with an artist who can kind of do a storyboard of some of the steps of these scenes, and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, cool, I want this type of framing on this shot, and then he'll adjust it and so on and so forth. And then, at the same time, you're having conversations with stunts or different departments to see how achievable that is within the time frame. And then I'm working with my assistant director that's working on how long shots will take, and I'm working with my camera operator, DP, on how how we can break that down to make it as easy as possible. So there's so many elements to it.
Okay.
But all of them are working all at the same. You're kind of working on all these elements at the same time. Then you get into it. But what I did like, and what was really cool as well, was when it comes to really technical fight scenes or gun scenes and things like that, you have the stunt team create what they call a previs, which is a video of the fight scene. Like, they'll make one, and then I can use that as a point of reference. You can literally, to copy exactly the shots and everything, you can do that. But I tend to kind of look at it and see it as like a point of reference, and then copy some shots and then change it up and switch it up. So that was really useful as well.
Nice. So what is one scene that you can remember really breaking down and having the stunt people, like have that kind of like copy that you were looking at before you actually directed the actors to that same thing?
I think the most technical scenes were the trap house scenes. So the scenes where we have a lot of stunts and guns and people running in and out and all of this type of stuff. That was probably the most technical, where we had to break down a lot of work.
Okay.
And then also the bullet scene. So I've got a scene where Taser shoots a gun, and then the bullet travels around everyone, and it's like, that shot was hard because of how precise the camera has to be to capture everyone, and they have to program it in. So, and getting the camera in. So I think that took it might have been the whole day, but for just that shot.
Wow.
Because to get the camera in and then to program it, and then, it might miss a mark, so they've got to, and then safety as well for the actors, because the camera is coming at them. So there was loads of technical aspects to that. But the way we done that first was, as I said to you before, me and the DP will have some ideas, and then we'll get the storyboard artist to draw out some things, and then I'll test it out in rehearsal, and then we'll shoot it. But
wow.
But that was one that was probably a long technical day.
Okay. It definitely paid off. Just like watching that scene, I really felt like immersed within what these actors are going through. Being in that trap house, really high stakes moment, we could really, the whole audience could feel it. So that was well shot. So are there any directors that you personally take inspiration from, the directing style, how they direct movies? Are there any that you really resonate with?
Yeah, man. Like, I love the Coen brothers and how they shoot comedy. I love Daniels that done like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like
okay.
I just love like the way they capture comedy, action, as well as drama. They're so precise, but then a bit like creative. Not a bit, very creative. So I like them. I like Hero, who done like Atlanta, all of like Atlanta. Atlanta's probably like my favorite show.
Ooh, wait, why is that? Like, what makes it your favorite show?
I just feel like it's as close to my aesthetics and my taste and tone. Like, I just like tonally, I just love Atlanta. It feels like something I would make. So I love Atlanta. I also love Ozark. Oh, now I'm going into shows, but anyway.
No, don't worry about it. I want to hear it all.
Yeah. So those are some of the directors, and then who else? Yeah, there's loads. We can go to usual suspects like Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino and all of that.
Steven
But
Spielberg.
I tried to give you some people that I really like that are just a bit, um, just a bit different, or I like them for specific reasons. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. Like those actors, I mean, those directors know what they're doing. Like they've been in the industry cultivating these movies for the viewing experience. I can see like you draw inspiration from them and also make an exceptional series as well, along with Batman. So
Yeah.
that is phenomenal. Well, talking more on like Supercell, where can we see the series? Are there any insights on what's going to happen next? Has Netflix been talking to you guys? If you can share that, is
Mm.
there anything you want to share about it?
Yeah. No, I don't know what. Well, I haven't been informed of like a
Mhm.
season 2 yet, and
Okay.
fingers crossed, and we'll just see what happens. Really.
All right.
Um. And yeah, I think it's done really well already, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see. Yeah. Yeah.
Hoping for season 2.
Yeah, and then I know Raps has like a lot of ideas and plans for how he sees the seasons
Mhm.
coming out. I know he's got like a 3 season, like he's got like a trilogy in mind. You
Wow.
know, like how he's of what he's got in his head.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the ideas are there. It's like yeah, whether we go to season 2.
All right. So you're just like waiting for that approval and you guys can get started with creating that season
Yeah, for
3 season arc. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. There'll probably be more, I guess. But I mean, I'm saying I've heard him talk about having like 3 seasons in mind.
I hope so. I
Yeah,
think we're all just like that cliffhanger, how it ended. We, we want to see more. We want to see some certain characters come back into the picture if that's possible. To how
yeah,
right, but just all the best. Really hoping for that renewal date to come out. So,
yeah. Fingers crossed.
and what is one thing you want to leave the audience as we're wrapping up this podcast? Any words of encouragement or just anything you'd like to share?
Um, ooh, I think the main thing that I would like to share is just carry on focusing on yourself as well as your art and all of that. Just focus on. I think one of the key, one of the things that I've seen help everything that I'm doing is just all the other work that I might do outside of that. So it might even be fitness, meditation, or reading books and things like that. Those are all transferable skills, and it really helped me through my journey. So I think, as well as trying to pursue your career and all of that, just have a balance and try and work on yourself in all those other areas, And I'm still working on myself. I don't want to make it sound like I'm some sort of evolved human, but
Mhm.
but it's just something that I feel like we get lost in our work. Well, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but sometimes I can get lost in my work, and
Mhm.
so I feel like just remembering there's another side to it, and
Mhm.
of life, and focusing on it is essential.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, Sebastian. Just that sense of focus, having balance in life. It was really well said.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining this podcast. It was amazing to sit down and talk with you about your directing journey, Supacell, and just more insights into the series, how you were directing those camera shots and angles. And it was really insightful. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you around in all that you are going to do in this, industry. So very excited.
Go on. We'll stay in touch. Nathan. Take care.
All right, stay in
Bye.
touch. Bye.